Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in the channel. If you missed the big news from today, it is that inflation is now at 9.1%, which outdoes the 8.8% estimate of the Dow Jones in the news. I try to leave political opinions out of this channel, but I can't do it any longer, and I'm not going to do it any longer, and I'm just going to come out and say it. And thank you, Brandon. I hope all of you have buyer's remorse. Look, you can only blame people for so long. They're still blaming the past administration. It's been almost 2 years since the election. You got to stop blaming people and take responsibility for your own actions and your own policies when it's obvious. Things are not getting better. They're getting worse. And I said this, 3 months ago, 4 months ago, I said it's only going to get worse before it gets better. And now here we are. Middle of July 2022 at the highest inflation rate since the 1980s. The highest gas prices just started coming down this past week. Up until now, all through June and into July, they were astronomical. They still are. My electric bill is almost double what it was 2 months ago, 3 months ago. Everything, groceries, you name it, all through the air. And we knew that. 9.1% now confirms it. So let's go over and take a look at it, and we'll go from there. So here's the story out of CNBC today on Wednesday, July 13th, that inflation rose to 9.1% in June, even more than expected as consumer pressures intensify. So this was Jeff Cox written about 8:30 this morning. The consumer price index increased 9.1% from a year ago in June, above the 8.8% Dow Jones estimate. Excluding food and energy, core CPI rose 5.9% compared with the 5.7% estimate. Costs surged for gasoline, groceries, rent, dental care, everything. Adjusted for inflation, workers' hourly wages fell 1% during the month. They're down 3.6% from a year ago. In other words, your inflation adjusted wages are down. Your income is down 3.5%, and your cost to live is up some ridiculous amount. Who even knows? As we scroll down, shoppers paid sharply higher prices for a variety of goods in June as inflation kept its hold. Of course, we know that. The consumer price index soared 9.1% from a year ago. Excluding volatile food and energy prices, the so-called core CPI increased 5.9%. Core inflation peaked at 6.5% in March and has been nudging down since. I don't know how it's been going down since we're in the middle of everything else being up. On a monthly basis, the headline CPI rose 1.3% and the core CPI was up 0.7%. Taken together, the numbers seem to counter the narrative that inflation may be peaking as the gains were based across a variety of categories. CPI delivered another shock. As painful as June's high number is, equally as bad as the broadening source of the inflation. Though CPI's spike is led by energy and food prices, which are largely global problems, prices continue to mount for domestic goods and services from shelter to autos to apparel. The inflation reading could push the Federal Reserve into even more aggressive position. Traders up their bets on the pace of interest rates increases ahead for the July 26-27 meeting, meaning a full percentage point move now has a better than ever chance of happening, meaning the interest rates are going to go up again. So getting a house or a car is going to be very, very expensive. Energy prices surged 7.5%. Medical care costs climbed 0.7%. The entire economy, real incomes fall further. It's just the whole country in just a nosedive right now. And we can thank, politics aside, we can thank the current administration for this. It's been almost 2 years since the last election, and they're still blaming it on the previous guy. This is an administration failure, a country and politics failure, a domestic policies failure, a worldwide, international, global politics failure. This is international relations failure. It is a failure across the board, and this we can blame on our current administration. Plain and simple, period. There's no one else to point the fingers at. It's their fault, and they're not willing to accept the blame. There it is. They don't want to fix it, probably on purpose. Who knows? With that, I'll leave it to you guys. Leave your comments below. Hit the like button and subscribe. I really, really appreciate it if you could subscribe, as I'm trying to test that YouTube algorithm, and I need 1,000 subscribers to do it. Almost a third of the way there. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed, and I'll see you next time.